Recruiting Thursdays presented by Sendell Volkswagen in Greensburg. We'd love to meet you. Sean Meyers of the Westmoreland Sports Network, joined by Riley Miller of the Hempfield Area Spartans softball team, as she just recently made her college commitment to Kent State to continue on the softball diamond. And Riley, an exciting time of year, I'm sure, as Christmas is upon us, and now you make this major life decision with your college commitment. Talk me through the process, what this was like, and how you knew it was time to commit.
The process was definitely nerve-wracking and stressful, but we went on a couple visits, and whenever I went to Kent and met the coaches, I just loved it, and I loved the campus, loved everything about it.
I want to talk a little bit about the time frame, because you were a junior, but obviously as a softball player, you haven't even come close to starting your junior softball season. So you have 2 more years of high school softball plus all the other travel softball that you play. Why was now the right time, knowing that you're only really about halfway through your high school career?
I don't know. Like I said, I just loved Kent State, and I thought it was the right fit for me. It was perfect. I was looking for somewhere that had, I wanted welcoming teammates and a place that felt like home. And, a big thing for me was not too far, from where I'm from. And it's only 2 hours away, so it was perfect for me. So I just decided it was perfect.
Now, I know that you've been pretty highly touted as a prospect for a while now, because you had a terrific freshman year at Hempfield Area. And so I think that probably puts you on the radar. And then last year you had just an unbelievable sophomore campaign. When did you start realizing that you were going to continue playing softball collegiately, and when did the interest from colleges start pouring in for you?
Well, it's always been a goal of mine to play at the D1 level, and even my travel team is just such a high-level team that's pretty much everyone's goal on that team. So I kind of always knew that collegiate softball was in my future, but yeah, it's exciting now that it's finally happening. And interest from college started, I would say, last summer, but I couldn't officially talk to them until September 1st, obviously, but yeah.
Was it in any way stressful trying to sift through the different offers and make these visits and kind of talk to different coaches and potential future teammates?
Yes, and it's such a big decision that you don't want to make the wrong one. So it was definitely stressful.
You obviously settled upon Kent State, but what other schools expressed interest in you, and did you take any other visits?
I had a visit at Monmouth University in New Jersey, and then I also had a visit at RMU.
Robert Morris, of course. So
Yeah.
I know that coaches play a major part in this. Obviously, your future coaches in recruiting you, but your current coaches and probably helping you through this decision process. And of course, we know Tina Madison, the head coach of Hempfield Area, who played collegiately softball at the Division I level. How much did you lean upon her and your travel coaches when you're going through this?
Yeah, they definitely know what they're talking about. They have really good input, and they were super helpful. Not even with the process itself, but just keeping your mindset good and knowing that there is something in the future, and not to get down on yourself or whatever.
Now, Tina was a terrific pitcher during her playing days. That's your primary position. How much has she helped you in your development as a pitcher as well?
Oh, crazy. She's the best.
Let's talk a little bit about when you decide to make a decision like this. I'm sure there's a relief that goes with it, but what do you do between now and when you actually are able to sign, which is quite a way in the future with Kent State in terms of, looking ahead collegiately?
I would say just keep getting better and keep working, because, obviously they liked now, but if you get better, they'll like even more, if that makes sense.
Well, have they given you any particular pointers or areas that they want you to improve upon in terms of when you get to the college level?
Not yet. They want me to come to their camp in January and see how they coach and how their coaching style is. So I'm sure I'll get some pointers there to work on.
Penn State this past softball season was right around 500 in conference play, competing in the MAC. And I know you said you wanted to stay relatively close to home. When you think of their program, what they've done on the softball diamond, their success, and then also the conference they play in, how attractive was that to you?
That's awesome to me. I also am super excited because my teammate Allie is in the MAC, and I'm super excited to be close with her still and play her. So super exciting.
Now, I know just at a quick glance, Kent State doesn't have a lot of WPIAL players on the roster, but you said there are a few connections, players you're familiar with. Talk about that and how much that helps.
It's super exciting. I know Gabby Quinn from Neshannock. She committed there recently. And in travel, we've just always played each other. She's always been like the rival, I guess, but we've pretty much grown up around each other. So it's exciting knowing she's going there. And Sierra Camacho from Franklin, she's also there. That's exciting to know. Just to know familiar people it makes it easier going into that.
So we talk a lot about what's next with your college softball career, but as I mentioned, you're only halfway through your high school softball career. And this past season was an incredible one for you individually and for the Spartans collectively, winning the WPIAL title, playing in the state championship game. When you think back to those two moments, those environments, those games, what comes to mind first?
Probably the nerves. I just remember being so nervous for both games, and like the crowd was just amazing. It was probably my favorite high school memory so far.
Well, if you were nervous, you certainly did show it, especially when the game went to extra innings against Seneca Valley in the WPIAL championship up at Cal U. Getting that victory in the most dramatic of fashions, how special was that for you?
Oh, that was amazing. Like I said, probably my favorite high school memory. And even going to school the next day, it was just so exciting. That was amazing.
Now, I mentioned that you're primarily a pitcher for the Spartans, but you've been a pretty good hitter as well. Looking ahead, do you anticipate that you'll exclusively be a pitcher at Kent State? And also, once you get to the college level, quite frankly, there's a lot of times where teams use 3, maybe 4 different pitchers. Do you anticipate still being a starter, potentially coming on a reliever? What's your expectations in that regard?
Yeah, so I think I will be just a pitcher and like PO or whatever, but I'm not sure if I'm going to start or be a reliever. I guess we'll see.
Is there a particular strength that you have as a pitcher that you think maybe separates you from some of the others?
Maybe my drop ball, because a lot of pitchers throw up balls now and like rise and up in the zone, but I pretty much throw down. So maybe that, I don't know.
Have you added any pitches or anything to your repertoire over, your high school career to this point?
Yeah, I just learned a screwball and a straight curve. So I've been working on those.
So as good as you were last year, maybe even better the next couple of seasons. Well, let's talk about this upcoming season. I think the expectations are now that, it's a championship caliber team once again, and everyone's going to be gunning to knock off Hempfield Area now as the reigning champs. Do you embrace that, and what are the goals and expectations that you have for yourself and for the team?
Yeah, we definitely do embrace that. We've always said everyone plays their best game against Hempfield. Like, everyone's coming for us. Expectations this year, I would say win the WPIAL and then win PIAA, but hopefully we'll see.
With this college decision now made, is it a little bit easier to just go back to having fun and enjoying your final 2 seasons as opposed to worrying about every single pitch being analyzed by potential future colleges?
Yes, definitely. It's a weight off my shoulders.
Talk about your family's impact in this decision. How much did they help, and what were maybe some messages or advice that they gave you?
They were super helpful. They've always been supportive, but even through the recruiting process, they were just extra supportive. They took me to my visits, did everything they needed to, and they were just super supportive.
Lastly, obviously, so much focus is on softball and your career there, but what do you love most about the sport? How did you get into softball?
So my brother played baseball, and I always went to his tournaments, and so I started like throwing baseball with him, and I decided I played bitty ball, which was still baseball. And then I went into slow pitch softball, and I just kept going.
Well, certainly it seems like the baseball background has paid off tremendously. You've had a terrific run at this point, just 2 years into your Hempfield area career. Congrats on this big decision, and good luck going forward for the next couple of years with the Spartans and then to Kent State as well.
Thank you.
That is Riley Miller for Recruiting Thursday right here on the Westmoreland Sports Network.